Hi everyone, welcome to Authentic Ingenuity Entrepreneur. My name is Minna Crichton. Today's date is 13th of February 2025 and I'm actually the narrator of this video clip and all my other video clips. So today I will be continuing with in the moment evidence as I feel guided by what I should be talking about. And before I get into our topic, I will just start with an introduction. I use this post because right now my case is against corporate bodies, meaning the Crown, who is defending the defendants. So there's a clear case that I am definitely what I'd be called is a whistleblower. For those that don't know what that is, it's somebody who actually exposes corruption. So basically, I'm just contesting everything that's on my file. Okay, so basically I'm the original on everything to do with myself and on my YouTube channel, and I'm the one who's actually doing everything on my Facebook page posting. I'm actually the original. So basically what I'm contesting in my court cases, me being the original, is the serious wrong, violent offences involving myself while I was working with my employer, and just the protection of my personal and property rights, being my entity and my existence on earth. And basically I'm just bringing all the facts to life. So just as an introduction, I'll just, before I get on to the topic that I've got my heart to discuss or disclose today, is just keep in mind I am a concealed individual and I have been used for a relationship scam. So in the most recent incidents is that me and Henry has been on a romantic relationship, and it was me who made the decision to go public because I knew he was in trouble in the first instance when things started to happen. Wasn't more for like trying to fight for a man because I'm not that tough of a person, but was also more because I knew he was in trouble. And as time went on, we both made a decision to actually oppose and expose the lies of the opposing ally that is being used for relationship scam. So everyone can see how this whole new system actually works. So just have this in mind. Actually, the concealed object in this matter. So they've used me like an object to actually promote other people. And they're also using my intellectual property and using me for money laundering and probably, embezzlements involved and other things going on behind the scene. So relationship scam is definitely what I've been used for. It's a love triangle that I've been used for historically, and that's very easy to prove. It's illegal to actually do that. The thing that I have found is that they have used me, then they twin and switch, and they're actually stealing, like thieving. So on my YouTube channel, I'm basically talking about my personal testimony, my professional life, whether I'm working or I'm also talking about my court cases, okay? They're my in the moment evidence. I'm self-litigating my cases. I'm representing myself. I would be called a paralegal because I do everything myself. I actually do not have a law degree, but in my in my country, we're allowed to represent ourselves. And in saying that, if such cases like mine, the judge does have that power to have other people, take over or help anyone that is not, able to represent themselves in court, because it is very. It takes a lot of concentration, and you've actually got to have the background and the expert to actually be able to do this on your own. So basically, I can now prove, according to the courts and the laws, that I have been subject to organised crime syndicates, okay? You know how like people do drug rings or anything like that? Well, it's like that, but I haven't done anything wrong. They did dig up my past to try and find dirt on me and stuff like that. And obviously they don't have anything substantial at all. But there's reasons why we have laws that, people's privacy and people's data and, even espionage is very dangerous. But what's happened to me is quite serious, and then you actually end up in a slavery system. But they are doing illegal operations that eventually ends up the individual being human trafficked or as an object. And then it's actually really serious. Okay, I just don't know how to actually explain it, but it is called serious violent offences for many reasons, but it is a category 4 case. Okay, so welcome to Authentic Continuity Entrepreneur. So this is just an introduction, and then I'm just going to go on to the topic. Okay, I'm in a lockout situation. Okay, somebody else is stealing my energy historically, and that's absolutely evidential now, easy to prove, and it hasn't stopped, and it's still happening even now. So basically what they've done with this human trafficking, what they've done to me is they've studied my brains or my intellectual thinking, my mind, how I think. They even study your human biology, so they'll know what's your weaknesses as far as your body's concerned. They're studying your habits, and they're also studying your family life and your activities and stuff like that. So eventually home invasion takes place. So it's definitely 100% my case is a home invasion case. Okay, so we're dealing with the individual's data, which is everything to do with me, and this is what I'm trying to fix up in court legally, and I will go on to that after I finish my introduction. Just so keep in mind, it is definitely a social media global game, and I can actually prove that's what's happened going backwards to 2010 now. Okay, but definitely privacy is gone. The individuals and their family members, everyone is exploited. Okay, they're listening to everything you're saying, and they're judging you, and if the wrong people are listening, they're actually trying to find some dirt to have against you and use on you. What I have found is that people's dignity are actually taken away. I know they've done that to me, and then they're doing the insult on social media referring to myself as part of like a hate alliance or a smear campaign against an individual. That's very serious, okay? But this is how defamation, why it's serious, because the whole idea for them to do is to put other people off you, okay? So if you don't know if that's happening, this can happen to anyone. Then we have all these people that call themselves shadow people or zombie zone, like for real. These people are walking around with no conscience. They're actually there for a reason, to either spy or as part of a syndicate who's actually coercing you within your circumstances. They've always got to have an eye, a foot in the door on everything you're doing. So they need these people to actually follow you, monitoring you, listening to you. So they've always got a foot in the door. I've just used here how a blind person is especially gifted. I've just used this as an example. We know that blind people, they can't actually see visually, but then they're actually really gifted just by listening sounds, and they see through the sounds, the smell and taste, and they can actually communicate really well and just know so many things that a person who can actually see wouldn't know. Like their senses may be more sharp than those who has all their all their taste and sight and everything going. But I'm just using this as an excuse also for like what I'm going through basically. So if Big Brother, unfortunately global game, is definitely organised criminal group. It's a negative force if nothing good is going for you. It just means that your whole environment is contaminated. Your privacy is gone. So the only thing really you can do if the laws aren't working is do your best to keep your family business and that separate from your business, and just do your best to keep your privacies to yourself. However, it is a global game, so if you're targeted, they will target you, and they will organize, set you up, or lure you into their next plan, and that's very easy to do. In the end, eventually, like cases like mine I can now actually prove in the court of law, it is the instant act of demolishing a human being. So everything they've said about me has all been lies, and everything that is on my personal property, which is my profile, is lies. But the substitutes on the surface are actually gaining all the credit and made out to be the better choice, or the person for the public on the naked eye as to choose as the better person. But behind the scene, everyone involved doing with me, they've committed perjury, and it is fraud, and they are doing public deception, which is illegal. So in my case, they have used me for relationship scams historically. So all these women are linked to a negative alliance, but those women are also represent a state, they represent a country, they represent a culture, they represent a religion, and I felt that everyone has used me for that, just to take over, and at the same time trying to destroy me, my reputation, and trying to make me kill myself, and they have tried to kill me, and that's the truth of the matter. The best way I can describe what they've done to me, why it becomes a Commonwealth game and a legal one. For an example, if the woman is, for example, is a Cook Island, or I'm not racist, I have to explain to you guys how it works so you can all protect yourselves. But say if a woman is European, Cook Island, Māori, or whatever nationality they are globally, okay. But if whoever's being used, their whole country is attacking your private family, your all the originals. Okay, they're using a relationship globally, like for example for the religion, for the races, and I'm a Christian. But then, other people like the gay community, we've got all these other communities, people you would never even associate with in your real life because you just wouldn't, okay? But this is the reality of the global game. They have used me for other people to get their foot in the door. So what I'm trying to say is that if whatever country the woman is, if the woman is Chinese, the whole China country is on her side, okay? And the originals are actually animated. So your whole family is in serious set of circumstances, because division does take place. Half my family didn't even know half of the things that I've actually put out on social media now. But that's why we have laws. But anyway, this is what causes division. The danger is all the originals are all attacked. So if there's definitely money involved. So instead of the people in authority doing their job, they are actually inciting to encoding people to actually eliminate the original, because the originals become a threat. Okay, so they're fighting for their reputation. So it's quite serious, right? And so everything on the surface is a deception on social media. So that's why I have been opposing their lies, and because I feel I needed to, and it is working. But it's a learning process for everyone else, not realizing what a conspiracy is, because it is anything fake, anything that is a lie, anything that is not true, it's fraud. Okay, it's fraud according to the laws. Okay, so very clearly, for those that don't know what a whistleblowing is a person that actually exposes corruption. So quite clearly, I'm a whistleblower, but in real life, a whistleblower is actually a good person. Like the person is actually standing against corruption, or is a victim or witness something that's not right, and they've decided not to stand by it. But eventually, the whole corporate body or the whole government ends up being contaminated and corrupt, because they're taking out all the honest people one by one. But you do end up targeted, and I can understand why some people get scared to even do their job or enforce their laws, because they don't want to be targeted. But I just think if you're not if you think you're too scared to do your job, maybe it's not a job for you. In saying that, but that is what a whistleblower is, and people have looked at me like I'm the enemy. What makes it really dangerous is because I'm definitely not the enemy. I'm actually the victim of crimes, and all I did in the beginning was I was trying to stop the actual breaches from accumulating and affecting everybody else. Okay, because that's why we have laws. So some people have actually committed some pretty serious crime in my cases. But I am also the aggrieved complainant. And usually we have laws for the purpose. So then by law, the government or whoever, the defendants who is liable, they have to actually compensate the victim with damages or anything, any kind of loss. And that's still law. Today it hasn't changed. But definitely criminal alliances does take place, and it's a global criminal alliances, which makes it more serious, but they are using the relationship scam. Okay, when you're actually a whistleblower, some people see us as the enemy of the state, but we're not. We're not actually. We're actually not if you're standing up for something right, but the people, what actually happens is those who have actually doing the illegal everything are the ones that are just through gossip and defamation and getting everybody on their side. They end up being a danger to society, a danger to the government, and they actually need to be removed and made accountable. That's why, that's what the law is for. So when an organisation or any government agency breaks a law, example for them, like the Ministry of Justice, they're all in one umbrella, but in the laws they are actually separate entities, but they are still made accountable as separate entities, even though they're the same stakeholder, or that's another word for it. Or and then we have the public sector, but in the laws they are each and individually have to abide to the laws. That encompasses their role for service for the government, or serving the public. So this is what has actually happened to me historically, but it's been a global game, and words cannot describe how serious and how dangerous it is to actually not be safe in my own country for a very long time, and just trying to stay on top of everything. Anyway, so it is called, the meaning of serious wrongdoing is when, it is an offence. Okay, a single breach is an offence. Okay, there is no watering down a crime. It's quite strict, absolute strict liability when members of a government or members of an organisation break the law. So, for example, like what's happened to me with my court cases, I've had different members of the courts sacrifice themselves to help each other, so then my case can get sabotaged. Well, that's what you called a serious wrongdoing. Okay, So the member gets into trouble, and so does the whole organisation. So, and this is like to do it to anybody. And in this case, I am actually a individual, okay? And they've put me in so much danger. It's not funny. And you know, the health and the safety of any individual, like, that's what you call serious wrongdoing. I mean, if you don't stand up for yourself, are you just going to let them kill you? I don't think so. So this is where my case falls under, because it's a corporate body, and this actually falls in the protected disclosure, and that's why they have protected disclosure application in the beginning. But after a while, I have noticed a specific group of people doing it, so I do know, I'm pretty aware of it. What the danger also is that they are like what's happening within the courts or within your work environment, then it follows out in public, and then they're using their jobs. That's a very serious situation for anybody. Okay, so serious wrongdoing, when it comes to the law, everyone is accountable, okay? And these are the people in authority and corporate bodies or body corporates. If they failed the laws, like they have in my case, each corporate body is made accountable, singular. So it doesn't matter who they are. If they've broken the law, like they have in my case, they are all made accountable, singular. If you watch my other videos, I went over about the judiciary with the judges and the deputy registrar. Even though they are joined together under the law, the courts, deputy registrar is actually accountable to the courts. Like, they're the face of the court when it comes to the administration of the running of the courts cases, and the legal cases. So I have to say the administration of the courts legally is appalling. It's appalling. It's fraud. It's intentional damage to a person's private property. I just went to the courts yesterday, and I just, I had a discussion with the team leader there at the counter, and I just told him it's just, I can't get hold of them. They don't ring back. They don't answer phones. They're full of excuses, but I'm used to them doing this to me. I know it's intentional, and I also know that I'm targeted, and I also know they're secretly stealing, right? Because even in their administration, they're using different judges, they're scheduling different people. Like, it's never been one person. They have not respected my privacy, my private anything. But the old court system, a court deputy registrar, they don't get privacy, right? What I'm saying is that when a court happens in court, and even a judge, when a court happens, they do get privacy. What I mean is, in court, public work, their names are up on board so everyone knows who it is. Because then, they, being consistency, and then the public's got something reliable to go on, and everyone knows who they are, because they are actually used to be called public servants, okay? They don't work for themselves. They're actually handling the taxpayers' money, and that belongs to, to everyone. It's not, they don't own, sorry, they don't own. That's the whole purpose of why they did that in the old system, is for the sake of the public welfare and the sake of the people within the government, to keep the government honest and to keep them abiding according to the laws, to keep, integrity as the foundation of the courts, the police, you name it. But that is why the laws are there for in the first place. But I have to admit, the legal administration of my court case, all I see is fraud. Everything is fraud. A lot of trickery. They've locked me out, and I can't even believe this is actually happening. But it is happening. But the reason why I haven't stopped fighting is because they're ruining not only well, they've tried to ruin my reputation. I know it's not, but they are ruining my personal property. Like they're deleting evidence, and they are stealing secretly. So I'm not happy with that. I found out. So I went to the court yesterday, and I spoke to the team leader there, because like I can't even get hold of the councils. There's absolutely no communication. I'm definitely locked out, and then all this sabotaging going on in the middle is really serious. It's happening, and everyone's just taking turns stealing. They're even adding. They're even like putting it on their ads on their radio to steal. So the people targeted is myself and my family. Okay, but this could be happening to your family. I just know the difference when I hear it, when I see it, because I know it's about me, and it's not hard to prove. Okay, so serious wrongdoing is a serious risk to the maintenance of law, including the prevention, investigation, and the detection of offences, and the right for a fair trial. It says go with anything unlawful or corrupt, or an irregular use of public funds or public resources. I've actually been entitled to a lot of things, like, with what I've done legally, but they're withholding all that. And but it's also been part of a tactic, because they know everything about you, to take you down on a financial ruin, or they withhold information and not helping you out, and people are given the wrong information, or misguided or misleading information, which is not fair, but that is what's happening. Okay, so I'm dealing with accessory after the fact. So what I have found historically, here I am minding my own business. Here I am, doing all this hard work trying to get myself out the proper way, like any normal good citizen. People are stealing my work. They're coming in my apartment and just going through my stuff. But this has happened historically, no matter where I've been. So every place I've lived, this has been happening. Someone's been doing it secretly, or telling my family lies, and then they've been deceived, and so. But my case after the fact, all these things can be investigated after the fact. Okay. What I have found, when I do leave home, I'm being micromanaged all the way home. I'm micromanaged all the way to where I'm going. So who has access is what I'd like to know. Well, after years and years and years of being used to living like this, it's a global game. So somebody overseas is monitoring me, except I don't know who. So they can actually monitor you through your internet. They can monitoring you just by using the misuse of devices, listening to you in your home, or have cameras in your home you don't know about. But it's a tight surveillance. Like when I go out, they're waiting for me. They have used my neighbours. Everyone seems to know who I am, and are all on it. The scary thing I've also found is that when I go on the bus, they're on the bus too. Okay, and they're using your hop card. They're using your credit card to track you. Anything to do with you, they're tracking you. They already know who they are. They just need one clue, and they know where you are. I just wanted to show this. This is what happened on the bus. I knew, I randomly don't know what I want to do whether I'm going to catch the train or catch the bus. I try and do different things because I know I'm being followed. So, but yesterday I decided to catch the bus home, hop on the bus. I just knew I was being micromanaged by people I don't know. And this guy comes here sitting there. That's not a coincidence, but these are the kind of things. He's got a rubbish bag. He's got no shoes on. But these people are coming out when I'm by myself. And I just know when something's natural and when it's not. And I just ignore it as best as I can. I know the government wants us to get used to all this, but it's not normal to have people, stage stalking you. You just feel it. Like, I don't know you, and yet I know they know who I am. I just feel it. I just feel I just feel the environment, that they know who I am. I just feel it, and I just carry on as normal as I can and ignore it. I used to react to it because I get angry because I'm frustrated because I don't want these people in my space, but they are glued. The enemy is glued, and it's very easy to take out people's bloodline. It's really, really serious. Really serious. They know all your family's activity and everything, and it's a global game, but you don't know who it is, but they are using their own people, and then they're coding. So just keep in mind, organized crime, nothing is natural. Okay. So it just makes it more dangerous if you're targeted. But if you do all the right things, and just do what you can to protect yourself and just ignore them, but don't ignore the stalking, stay alert. But there's, natural is natural. I'm not used to being stalked. I'm not used to being organized because I don't like other people thinking for me. I don't like people in my private space unless I invite you in my private space. I don't like other people thinking for me or making decisions for me unless, I'm in a job. That's a different thing. But I'm talking for myself personally. I like to make my own decisions for myself because I know I'm competent enough to do that. Okay, part of being an object, what everyone's used me for, they are using, I have noticed on the radio, because it's a game that's been going on for so long, and just keep in mind I'm saying, whatever nationality the woman is or the man is, their whole country, and you're talking about globally, but they are using your people within your original as the people, like they don't know it, but they're actually being set up too, and then it backfires, but they don't know it. Okay, but what's happened to me, unfortunately, to undo what's happened to me, you have to go back to 2010 and the government who actually started all this in the beginning, okay? Because they did turn me into a project without my consent. They took my dignity away. I don't know if you guys can hear that. But I am being monitored by somebody overseas. They're listening to me. They know what I'm doing and they don't like it. And when they don't like it, they actually fly their planes quite low just to let me know they're not happy or mad or whatever. But that is serious, okay? But these are the kind of things. They're using sound effects. They're doing indirect everything. So you end up living, fighting against people who are actually mentally impaired is the word, who aren't normal, because it's not normal to do what they're doing. It's not right either. But they have taken away, they do take away the individual's dignity, and they are doing really disgusting things. So other cultures, they just want you dead, okay? They just see you as a threat. So they go to the extreme. They want somebody to murder you. But the evidence that I can pick up on social media is really serious, because they're talking about body parts. They've totally taken the dignity of the woman away, or the man, because they can do that to the men, because they're trying to, just kill your confidence and get you into a depression. But believe you me, if they walked in your footsteps for like 3 months, they wouldn't even survive, okay? But you got to learn to ignore all that, and I am, and I'm persevering. Also, with my court case in the criminal jurisdiction, I've submitted case documents at the High Court, so I'm waiting to hear more about that, because I have found that I've actually submitted documentations, whether online or at the courts, and it goes straight to the people who doesn't want to do anything about it, okay? So I'm going to keep you all in the moment. My case is definitely real. It's happening. I'm making it happen. The other thing, I just remember too, before I finish up, is that the corporate bodies, everyone in the people in the call centres and people within the corporate bodies and different agencies, organisation, they actually are looking up people's profile just to be nosy. My criminal case is a private prosecution, okay? So apparently I'm the first one in New Zealand who's gone this far with prosecuting the government or the states or the people involved within my cases. So I'm up against the Crown. But a private prosecution and things I'm finding out for myself in hindsight, in real life, because I'm the victim, they should have got the judges who were involved in my case way back, when it started, they should have actually referred the case to the criminal jurisdiction, so then the judges can take over. The other things that the judges can do is that they can actually get somebody to take over for me, all right? But this new system, I don't know if they're just rejecting me purposely, or, well, obviously that's what it looks like, they're rejecting me purposely, but it's because I'm a whistleblower and because I can now prove legally by law that they've all stolen off me. Their motive and intent has been absolutely illegal, and they've committed perjury, which, over time it's very serious and dangerous. But I have submitted the case. It is moving, okay, the criminal jurisdiction, and I thought I'll just enlighten everyone, just for my sake and for the sake of everyone else, of what's going on, because no doubt the opposition hasn't rested. The devil doesn't stop. What I mean by that, because I'm the opposing ally, they don't want it to go through the normal process with the criminal jurisdiction. But it is, and I'm making it happen. I've done everything according to the laws. I'm definitely a blacklisted black market case, and I'm definitely the victim of crimes for everything. And so I also found out that if you are, because I'm only finding out all these things, and it explains why I couldn't understand why they weren't doing what they're doing. Or doing what they're doing, it's quite obvious that they've taken advantage of somebody, and but it hasn't been good for me. It's been horrific. Like, emotionally, I've lost a lot. I've lost heaps of things, and it's just been horrific. But I have found that when you are up against the Crown, you're actually up against, like, the king. So I didn't know all these things. I'm finding out about it, and this is where they have let me just see if I can find the name of the people. Okay, they're called Governor General, right? So I think what I have discovered in the system is that the Crown that actually takes over my case, because it is a criminal case, but I didn't know all this until I actually went through it, and I'm learning about it. But the Governor General is the person that actually represents, or can be the person that represents your case against the Crown, okay, because it's a civil, but it is a criminal case. They don't have to if they don't want to. However, the law still allows me being the actual, because it's my property and I'm litigating my case, I'm self-representing, I'm still allowed to prosecute the Crown, okay? But what I am finding is that the women or the defendants, okay, in the Crown, this is my discovery, personal discovery, is that no doubt they're getting themselves defended against them. They may, what I'm saying is, they may be charged secretly and I don't know about it, and then they're actually using the court system to defend themselves against me. Yeah, I don't know anything about it, I'm left out, okay? But this is where their lawyers come in. The thing is that these people are from a global, other governments. So that's what's going on, and that's what's happening to me individually. So what I'm saying is, some of the defendants have committed perjury, so they would get their lawyers to contest or fight whatever they're being charged secretly. Okay, I don't know about it. Somehow I have known, but I don't know that they're actually getting charged. I don't know anything about it because it's a private prosecution. So a private prosecution means that the public won't know about it, the public won't hear about it. But this also explains why you may be targeted and why you may be, going through, a downhill spiral of anything. The problem that I have found that is so serious and dangerous for New Zealanders is that these lawyers or these other people can be from around the world, trying to save the reputation of these women who have broken the law. So what I'm saying, I'm up against Natalie Visciso's, because I've denounced what they're doing publicly as a deception. So no doubt, money, they've got money, so they are doing everything they can to save their reputation, and not, because no one wants a bad reputation. But that is the experience I'm going through. And this could be the same too with Amy Denton. They're fighting for their reputation, because in real life they should be charged for very serious criminal conspiracy. Okay, so that's what I've learned, and I think I'll end the video here with this. I'm just going to go with it. I'm not afraid to speak my truth. In fact, I feel I'm within my place to expose how the system actually works. So so I'll keep the evidence in a moment. I'll update everybody with what's going on with my criminal case. New Zealand laws, I can still prosecute them. When it goes to the criminal laws, I have that right to prosecute them according to our laws. I don't need a law degree because it's about me. It's about my entity. It's just basically just going through the system. And so that's what I thought I'd let you guys know. So these people that are actually government general, they can be anybody from around the world. That's the scary thing I have found about it. And if they're for the other people, they're fighting for them. And this is where we get all the alliances, the stalking, and the sabotaging to try and stop people from getting away and having their own freedom, or just getting away from being enslaved and incarcerated by force. So this is reality, guys. This is the real life trafficking in persons case. This explains why they're doing illegal scientific experiments on humans. This could happen to any member of your family, could happen to your daughter, could happen to your wife, can happen to anyone. They've taken advantage of me because I have been a single female for a long time by choice. And so they have taken advantage of somebody illegally and have used me like a guinea pig. But this is the whole idea. I end up being a product. I end up being an app, and people are still doing that. And then the public secretly steal off you because they know no one's going to investigate, and they are stealing off you. Like, they're stealing from your bank accounts. They're stealing, if they can steal anything that they can get away with, knowing the police ain't going to investigate, they will do it. So it is 100% indictable offences, and everything has been obtained unlawfully. But I'm going with that, and I feel like it's just a matter of time, and I'll see the end of it all. But I'll keep everyone in the loop of what's going on. But this is the reality of the new age system and being locked out. Okay, all right, and it's definitely privacy invasion. So what's happened to me can happen to anybody. Okay, and I've actually got an excellent memory. I remember things just like yesterday. Easy. But you are always under threat. Okay, so the people that are involved of all the other murders in the past is glued to you. Okay, and their threats are real. So I suggest don't ignore it. Use the police. If they're not going to respond like they should, then use the court system, but do what you got to do to protect yourself and build a case against anyone that is breaking the law. Because if you don't, they're doing it to you anyway, and that's what I found. Okay,